I was having a conversation with some people too. They were saying that because she talks to her children, she hears this gist amongst themselves that when they are going on summer holiday, they call, if you're going on economy, because it's a longer stretch back. So they say, are you doing the walk of shame or the walk of fame? Like, are you the one paying for first? So they're even particular about whether it's a first class ticket or business class.
This is the craziest thing I've heard in a long time. Hello and welcome to this episode of Conversation Over Coffee. I wanted to have this conversation because this seems to be a really difficult time for parents, and I am super curious. How has parenting gotten harder today? Are we doing worse than the generation before us? And why?
Heal so that your children will not have to heal from having you as a parent. So a lot of people have not healed. Nothing really prepares you. So babies are having babies. You're not
that makes so much sense. Babies are having babies.
Babies are having babies.
So in this conversation with Mofolusade, we talk about the realities of parenting today, how your kids will hear about sex, and repeating the same mistake that our parents did.
In our own generation, there was this mystery around sex. I think that's why it was
also made it intriguing.
Yes, and that's why a lot of people used to. It was just so. So first of all, you have to demystify it for them.
All right, so grab a cup of coffee and let's go. In today's conversation, I want to talk about parenting today. I feel like in the last 1 year or in the last few months, we've seen a lot happen on social media with parents and kids. Like it's been the last time there was like a sex tape, and it's just been crazy. And when I think about it, I'm like, are we becoming bad parents today? I'm not a parent yet, but when I think about it, I'm like, as a child, I think about my childhood and my parents. So I try to be like, are parents becoming worse today, or what do you think? Do you think that's the case?
No, we're just in a different era, and the systems that used to work no longer work. We are constantly evolving.
Yeah. People
are busier now. Then our mothers were housewives, or at most a teacher. My mother will go, before you come back from school, she's at home, your food is ready. You have God, my mother used to search our bags. Like now, how many mothers have time when you've gone to the bank from 5:30, come back to the house at 10 o'clock? So I think children are now being raised by social media and their peers. So even those that even have time, like you're at home, your children are going out there to mix with the children whose parents are not present. In that era, there were mistakes that were made, which is part of what we are even seeing today. Because I tell people, there's this phrase I like and I often use whenever I'm talking. It always says, it says, heal so that your children will not have to heal.
I feel like I've heard this phrase
from
before.
having, I use it a lot. And I think I saw it from a psychologist. Right? So it says, heal so that your children will not have to heal from having you as a parent. So a lot of people have not healed. And because we have come from different generations. I know how, in fact, I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of pressure now. That era is, how far now, marry. And nothing really prepares you. So babies are having babies. You're not ready.
That makes so much sense. Babies are having babies.
Babies are having babies. You've not even gotten your life yet. You don't even know what you're about. Then the whole marriage thing, you've not even found, because some people they marry today, bam, they have gotten pregnant and have baby. The dynamics is not even yet okay. Do you understand? Because I work with women and I talk with a lot of women. I know so many, I can tell you categorically that so many women are hurting. They are depressed, they are miserable. And somebody who is broken cannot raise somebody who is going to be a wholesome child. How? You're not okay. You can't raise children that are going to be okay. So we have more of that. Some people, because sometimes some people say, okay, it's because women are working now, but there are some women that are not working, that are at home, but their spirit and soul is not there. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? They are just there, but they're not there. They are bitter, they are not happy, so there's no connection.
So what's the foundational issue? Is it this, people are working upon, or like what's the actual issue?
So like I said, it's not about whether you're working or not working. I think, first of all, a lot of people need to heal. True, there is no manual for parenting. Nothing prepares you for it. There's no manual for parenting. But we can learn from one another. So that culture of silence has to be broken. We need to talk. One thing that they got right in the other generation was when they say it takes a village to raise a child. That time, everybody was everybody's mother. Like you can, but now you correct a child. Even schools, they've withdrawn. There's a limit to which teachers can interfere in raising a child. You just correct a child, now the mother can come and fight you. And there are just many things happening there.
I definitely think I agree with your statement, babies are raising babies, because it seems to be the challenge. Like we need to first, we've not gotten our act together, and we are giving birth to people and just creating a ripple effect out.
I would even tie it to this pressure is getting worse matter. So you are there's so much pressure out there. You want to achieve, we are in an overachieving generation. We are overstimulated. One of my neighbors, an older mentor, she told me that one time, she was, she dropped her son in school and she was about to go. And she saw one of his friends on the balcony saying, that's a nice ride. And these are primary school children. That is it 2017 or 2018? And she said when she was just waiting that when that child comes home, she's going to give him a pay. What? Is that what we are discussing? What do you mean? So he's asking what's the model of the car? In that model of the car, can you just imagine that kind of whatever?
At times, the best we could do was just sit outside.
If I was, we trek home and trek back. Who is asking you what model? Okay, this conversation is deep. I was having a conversation with some people too. They were saying that because she talks to her children, she hears this gist amongst themselves that when they are going on summer holiday, they call, if you're going on economy, because it's a longer stretch to back. So they say, are you doing the walk of shame or the walk of fame? Like, are you the one paying for first? So they're even particular about whether it's a first class ticket or business class.
This is the craziest thing I've heard in a long time.
It's crazy. I couldn't believe it myself, but these are the things that are happening there. And you see, I think maybe, of course, now a lot of parents are working so hard, everybody's chasing money, and they are overcompensating for not being there.
Yeah.
So you're guilt tripping yourself like, because I'm not. So anything the child wants, you're just ready to give the child. And you're not helping the children.
How do we, as parents or as caregivers or people who would even be parents, how do we correct this? How do we, is it like a value system? Is it disconnection? How do we correct it? What do you think we can do?
I think first of all, it's like having conversations like this.
Yeah.
And we need to realign and retrace to go back to the basics. Our value system is totally eroding. It's totally eroding. We're not focusing on the things that matter, the things that are important. You want a child who is emotionally intelligent, a child who is balanced and who understands how to speak to people, how to relate with people. Those are the things that matter. You even talk amongst parents. You see some people speaking about, my child is doing A-levels, they are going to, it's almost like a competition.
Yeah.
Saying, you can have all the A's. Academics that's not the end of it.
I agree.
Do you understand? So they're focusing on, we are majoring in the minors. Are you raising a good human? Are you raising a human who is going to be a blessing to the society? As opposed to an entitled.
Yeah, I think so.
Entitled. It's complicated. It's complicated. So we have a lot of work to do. We need to be able to, just go back to the basics. Nobody is saying, because it's now not about whether you're working or whether you're not working. And then also parenting is because I think the focus was too much on mothers. That's why even I have tried to change my language. When we're talking about parenting, I like the fact that you said parenting.
Yeah.
People will say, oh, mother. It's not only the mother that born the child. Do you understand? Everybody is involved. The mother and the father work, except you're a single mom. And even if you're a single mom, you can have a father figure in the life of that child. So like, I'm not a single mom, but sometimes my husband is not available and, because he works in the boat. I will call my brother, because I have boys. There are certain things that I need a male perspective.
Yeah.
If my husband is not there, I can get my brother involved. Please, come and help me. Come on. Sometimes my children will say, Mommy, have you told your siblings? I tell them. I cannot do this alone. Right? So we have to understand that nobody is perfect. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody came with a perfect solution. You know, so
I think we have gotten deluded with the fact that, oh, it's my child. I'm raising the. I think it's a big.
I like the thing you said.
I think it's a big challenge. Be like, oh, this person is my child. I'll raise him how I see fit. Because we've seen a lot of it on social media, like people giving like their 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old beer, for instance, or alcohol in public because it's my. And then everyone goes like, well, we cannot say anything.
It's their
child. Versus back then, if you were doing something stupid in your area,
your neighbor, your mom's friend, or what can come out.
If you are doing something stupid, if I was doing something stupid in my area as a kid,
yes,
my dad's friend would have been, Ike,
what's going on?
Are you mad? Try. But versus right now, it's just like, oh no, let's not say it.
I like this thing you said. Why? Because that's something I'd like to tell people. This one I say, it's my child. You see, one challenge that some parents, a lot of people have is, you don't own this child. You're just a guardian. I don't want to sound like a cuckoo or whatever, but let's even go spiritual. We are spirit beings first before we are. So everybody comes and is on a journey, on a path. So you can't make that child. We want to mold the children. Oh, this one is going to be a doctor. This is my child. This one is going to. So we're trying to guide that child has come with a journey. Your job as a guardian is to guide that child towards the right path and give them the foundation and the tools that they need to.
So why researching about this conversation?
Yeah.
One thing that I felt like I wanted to also ask was is a conversation about sex with kids. Here's the thing: when I was young, my parents did not have sex conversation with me.
Me neither. No, they did.
That my parents.
If a boy touches you, you get pregnant.
Oh yeah, that was like
that was the conversation.
Everybody's conversation.
Yeah, that was
my parents didn't have a sex conversation with me. Everything I know about sex or anything, I learned on my own. And I'm pretty sure even my kid sister, the way we had, so my kid sister has like 3 elder brothers. So me and two other. So the way we kind of had a conversation, but
amongst each other. Wow.
With her.
Oh, okay.
But the way we had, because she was in school, she was like, so it was just her in school, and then she moved to Lagos, and she has a boyfriend. So you have to have the conversation, whether you like it or not. We are guys. We've been there. We know whether you like it or not. Yeah.
This sex is a big matter.
And as a parent, how do you have that conversation?
You just have it. Okay? So, first of all, it's never too early. From as younger, especially now, because the children are exposed to so much. And I'll use myself as an example. I have boys. There's the issue of pornography. There's the issue of masturbation. These are things that you can't bury your head in the sand like an ostrich and say it doesn't exist. You have to have those conversations, because what I tell people is that if they're not able to talk to you about it, they're going to talk to their friends about it, or they're going to go to Google. And of course, you know the kind of thing, it's spiral down from there, right? So I started with my first. I didn't start very early. We had this thing, and I realized, learning curve. So with the others, I gather them and we talk. So sometimes maybe you go on social media, there's a trending topic. We come, see what's happening, and I try to be calm, because it's not just me talking. They talk. Because I know that they have friends in school. They are thinking, my friend brought his phone to school today, he was showing us something, he said this is this, that. I said, really? Okay. You have to have those conversations, and you have to have it not in a judgmental, because that way they'll not start keeping things from you. Yeah. They won't come to talk to you, they won't be comfortable around you. So first of all, create that environment because this whole thing, there's this, in our own generation, there was this mystery around sex. Yeah. I think that's why
which also made it intriguing.
Yes, and that's why a lot of people used to. It was just so. So first of all, you have to demystify it for them. I'm not saying, don't know that sex is bad. You must not have sex. I say sex is a good thing, or it's a beautiful thing, but these are the consequences. I tell my children, sometimes I'm very blunt. I say, go and duke your willing inside. So first of all, spirits. You are exchanging spirits. I tell them, even I teach in children's departments in church, teenagers. Today we still talk about sex, because it's alarming how much these children know. So whether you talk about it or you don't talk about it.
It's something that a friend we talk about. I talk about with a friend, and it was like kids right now. Parents have lesser influence versus their peers and friends. Their friends have greater influence.
Yes.
What they say on social media has greater influence than the influence that parents have.
Yes.
So it's something that back then the person that had the most influence for you was your mom or your dad.
But now,
or your family. But now you're like your friends or people in school or like
which should not be. Which should not be. I think the first thing is that you have to make sure your communication is very important. Make sure that your children, if they are curious about something, they come to ask you. So like masturbation was not something I thought about before, but my younger son, I don't know, maybe something happened in school, and he came home and asked me, Mommy, what is, I first of all shifted in my seat, because I was like, okay, where do I start from with this? Because, sometimes you're not really ready for, but I tried to stay calm. And I broke it down and explained it to him. We read about it together. There's also the issue of, sexuality, all of those things. They are filling an online form. They ask gender. Before it would just be male
and female.
Now there is male, female, non-binary, trans, I'm just like, God. And if you don't talk to them about it, they will go out there and get the information. So which one do you want? Do you want them to get the information firsthand from you, or do you want them to go out and pick it from this thing?
I just think that's like really key. We need to build conscious relationship with kids.
Conscious relationship.
And because that's the only way to have influence over the kind of life they turn out to live, which makes a lot of sense.
Yes, because, so I'll just give an example. There was a time my son in secondary school, I just bought a new laptop for him because his other laptop spoiled. So I just got him a laptop, and I don't know what happened. Just that same week, the screen cracked. And he said I don't know what happened, but when he opened it in class, his friends were like, "You are dead. Your mom is going to kill you." And I was like, "No, I'll tell her it was a mistake." And they were surprised, but I was happy when he came home to tell me, because I was like, yeah, I must be doing something right. That they are comfortable enough. He knows I will not be happy about it. But he's not afraid to come and say, "Oh my God, Mommy, there was an accident. This is what happened." So I just told him, well, you leave the laptop like when we have money, when your daddy is ready, you fix it. But you use it like that. But he can come to me. But you see how a lot of children have been intimidated and they can't talk to their parents.
Yeah.
They cannot. So they would easily turn to their peers or to predators. There are also predators online. They don't have work. They are looking for young girls, young boys to lure. Just offer them something. Feel like, oh, I'm just your mentor. But not all these mentors are mentors. They are looking for people that they can prey on. And your children are at risk of falling, prey to those kinds of people if they don't have a relationship with you.
Sure. Great. I really enjoyed this conversation. I feel like we need to actually talk about parenting a lot more.
A lot more.
Yeah, we just seem. It's also why I think a lot of people are even afraid of getting married, because, man, the marriage conversation is a big thing. It's something that it looks like a lot of work. It looks like it takes a lot. It just looks like we are making the same mistakes over and over and over again.
There's a point that I also want to, because we can talk about conversations, relationships, and all of that, but children are like sponges. So somebody says that they pick what you do as opposed to what you say. So you can't be saying this and you are doing something else. So I'll tell you that my parents, as you are parenting your children, they are parenting you too.
Yeah.
You want to be a better person because of them. I want my children to wake up early. Are you waking up early? You want your children to get up in the morning and the first thing they do is pray. Is that what you do? Or do you pick up your phone?
Yeah.
We had that running battle because my children, I had to look at myself that, okay, is this what I'm doing? Is that what they see me do? Get up and you grab your phone. Or you get up and you pray. Or read how you live your life. Also, so you might be telling your children, don't do this, be disciplined. Are you disciplined yourself? Study, do they see you study?
This reminds me of a lot of things. I was telling my brother that we should look at our lives.
Yes.
That somehow we are doing the things that our dad or mom do. Like we picked up a lot of things. we've picked up a lot
Yes.
of things. So I was telling someone that I've consciously not been angry in the last 4 years. Like in the last 4 years, I haven't gotten angry in a day. No matter what happens to me, no matter what someone does to me, I just cannot be angry. But then I've seen something recently that I seem to be doing. When I have a very bad day, I just get annoyed. And I come home and I'm like, I don't exactly, it's not consciously, but somehow, subconsciously, it feels like I want to lash at someone else. And I realize, I'm like, oh my God, my dad used to do this thing.
I like the word you use, subconsciously.
It's not conscious. I'm not trying to do that. But then I realize, I'm like, okay, calm down, Larry. What are you doing? You need to think.
So this thing that you've mentioned about subconscious just reminds me of, there's this guy I follow online, Bruce Lipton, and he says something about the subconscious mind, that the first 4 years of a child is like you have a computer with no program, no software, no programming. The first 4 years are spent, so we all come to this world like genius level, lack of fear, bold, confident, but many of the behaviors we exhibit later in life are learned within those years because they are programmed into your subconscious. And I mean, it sounds spooky and all, but it said like if a mom is during her pregnancy, if she's always crying, if she's always miserable, chances are that when you have that child, in fact, in my own case, my mom's always saying it, and I exercise a lot. And my mom now had to say that, she was doing her NYC in physical education while she was pregnant for me. And she was doing a lot of it. So every time she say, "Emi, no far, it's me." So it's just, the subconscious is very powerful. So if you want your children to be better, you be better. You be better because it's not what you say. It's not how you beat them, how you shout, "Don't do this." Be a better person so that they can soak in the right traits. And because me too, I know you grow up and you find out that there's some things that you do by default. Because those are the things you saw growing up.
All right, thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself. And so I do have an outro. I know you run Mumprenuer NG. Yes. Or Kick Ass Mom. Yeah. I tend to follow you. So I really appreciate you coming for this conversation. This has been an amazing time. I feel like I've also picked up a couple of things myself. And definitely, if when I become a parent, eventually, I definitely want to make conscious effort in becoming a very deliberate parent, a very intentional parent.
So you be that wonderful person that you want them to be, and then they pick it up from there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Conversation Over Coffee. You can find information about Mumprenuer NG and Kick-Ass Mom in the description below. And hit the like button and hopefully the subscribe button. And see you in another video.